Hi, I'm Pat and welcome back to the channel. Today, we got D here from D's Rides.
What's going on, Pat, my man? How you doing?
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Awesome.
So there's a link in the description for D's channel. Now, D and I met through Justin, Horsepower Obsessed, many years ago. I don't know, it was like 5 years ago or something.
Yeah, it was at, I think it was probably at my first Corvettes at Carlisle, maybe?
Yeah, that's where it was. And I'm a big Corvette fan. Now, D just recently moved to my area and he has this yellow Z06 behind me. It's a 2023. And I said, D, you know, we've lived here in this area now for a little while and we still have yet to get together. He's never driven an NSX before. I've never driven the Z06 before. Now, I got to drive Justin's C8, but this is the first time I'm going to be sitting in a Z06 and hearing those ponies roar behind me.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive once you get in there and you start hearing it. It's gonna be intoxicating for sure.
See, that's the thing for me, because I'm sort of in the market for something new. So, you know, while I want to go into something that's exotic, the Z06 fits the bill. So I think it might actually be the car. I don't know. We'll have to see. But we're going to be driving it around some of these country roads here in Maryland and just checking it out. It's not going to be a normal car review. It's just going to be an opportunity for a bunch of good friends to drive around.
For sure.
And see what we think of each other's cars. So let's hop in. All right, so we're in D's Rides Z06. First time in a flat plane crank engine car ever. So this is pretty cool. He's going to be following me in the NSX. So let's get going. Now I'm in manual mode right now because I want to hear this flat plane cranked up. Are you kidding me? Ooh. Now this has a good sound to it. The steering has a bit more feedback than the NSX does, I'll give it that. Oh man. So what's really neat about this is that you still get that American car feeling. You know you're in an American car, but it sounds like a Ferrari. That on its own is quite interesting to me. Wow. And I'm just getting a feel for it right now. I got a heads-up display. I haven't seen that since the BMW i8. That is really neat. Alright, so I'm just getting a feel for this right now. You know, I'm a Corvette guy at heart. Anybody that's watched my channel knows it. I was in Justin's Horsepower Obsessed C8. This feels different. This is a different beast. Now I'm in Z mode, which is customizable. And D went ahead and customized this car so that you have the great sound, but you don't have the really stiff ride hard, so you don't have that track mode feel to it, but it feels better than the stock C8 because C8 felt more like a boulevard cruiser, to be honest with you. This car, this feels nice and put together. The balance feels good. Geometry around the turns feels good. I'm generally impressed so far, and I'm just driving, you know, speed limit. I'm not really doing anything drastic with the car right now. interesting. You know, I'm so used to having that torque there in the NSX, and I'm looking in the rearview, man. That NSX looks mean behind me. Here so we get a better sound. This car, they're so different that it's hard to be able to say one's better than the other. It's hard for me to say I would choose this Z06 over that NSX, and I think I could probably own both of them and on a given day say I want this sound, I want this rawness that's coming out of the back of that car that I don't get in the NSX, and be happy driving this around. But then the next day I'd be like, I want that low end torque that I'm getting from that electric motor that you can't get in this. And I think the ZR1 or the Zora or whatever they're going to call it, when they combine, and I believe they're going to do this, combine this engine with the electric motor up front, that is going to be something dangerous, something to really, really make a challenge for the NSX to be what it is, which is the ability to have both.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. How are you feeling?
This is awesome. That pickup is just freaking instant.
You can't compare it, you know that. So this is what you're going to probably see with the ZR1 or the Zora,
yeah,
because they're going to have that electric motor up there, so you're going to have that.
Dude, it's just freaking.
It's instant. It's this has the sound and the thrill and the exhilaration that doesn't have.
Yeah, this has the pickup.
But it has the pickup, right? It's almost like, and you know, I was saying on camera, it's like you can't replace either car, in my opinion. It's almost like you have to get both cars. If you want a nice, raw, loud day, you drive this. If you want to have a more quiet day where you're just able to hit it right off the bat.
This hugs those curves like you would, like you just point and shoot.
Yep. I'm so glad that D is enjoying the NSX. So link in the description for his video, because you know, for him to be able to drive an NSX for the first time and get this feedback with the hybrid front end, I think is important for someone who's never driven this car before. You know, I've driven the C8, and the Z06 is so much better of a car. It's so much better. It feels completely different. Even though the inside of the car looks the same, it still feels completely different. Whew. I loved it. D, come on over. Yeah.
Over.
Yeah. So D, thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. Anytime, brother. Anytime.
You know, I'm still a Corvette guy at heart, and it's not changing. Okay, what GM is doing with this car, specifically the Z06, I'm blown away by it. And having a chance to drive Justin, horsepower obsessed, big thanks to him, with his C8 and comparing it to the Z06. So the inside to me feels the same.
Yeah, it's exactly the same, pretty much.
But the steering, the suspension, by far, this car is set up so much better, even the stock Z06, because you don't have the Z07 package.
I don't, yep.
But perfectly stock, perfectly amazing. The ability to be mid-range in that RPM, hammer it, and still have a ton of RPM left, you don't have to upshift right away. And that's the one thing with the C8. I was like, dang, I want more, you know? But the engine wasn't able to provide it. So GM did a terrific job with that. Obviously, the sound is a symphony. And overall, I think the car performs just as well as the NSX does on the twisties. Really love it, but I do miss that hybrid front end. I miss having the ability to just give the gas and just go.
He's basically telling you guys he wants a ZR1 or a Zora.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, D. So what was your overall experience? Obviously, you know, his video is going to be out, link in the description, but what's like your overall take of the NSX?
So my overall take of the NSX is I freaking love it. This car, as I was telling Pat earlier, it's one of those cars that I wanted as an adult. It was one of those cars that was like a dream car to own. When I first saw it, I was like, man, this car is beautiful. And my wife, she thought the same thing. And so having this opportunity to be able to drive a car that you had on that kind of dream car list is worth its weight in gold. Now driving the car, it point and shoot. No matter where you point at the steering wheel, it's gonna go. I mean, it's a all-wheel drive, has that electric motor up front. As soon as you hit the gas, instant power, instant torque. It throws you back in your seat, and it's not as aggressive and as boisterous as the Z06, but it just says, okay, you ready to go? Bam, we're off. And before you even know it, you're just put back in your seat. The Z06, when you hammer that, it's gonna let you know, are you ready to go? Let's go.
Yeah.
You know, that, it's just quiet. It's just like, okay, you ready? Bam, let's do it. Yep. So, like, everything, the whole cabin is just really, really well thought out. Buttons, the dual clutch transmission, love it. Paddle shifting, it was instant. Everything that, I mean, if you want an everyday driver that can do it all, I think that NSX is it. If I didn't have the Z06, I'd probably venture to say I'd have an NSX, because it's just that good and it can be an everyday driver. The Z06, I don't think I can have it as an everyday driver. I think this is what it is. It's a weekend warrior for me, and I'm happy with that. But if I wanted to just be happy and have a smile on my face 24/7, the NSX, because it's just so nice driving it. The suspension on the Z06 is great, but it's stiff. Like, yeah. even in just your regular Z mode or whatever, it's still fairly stiff. But whew, that NSX, long story short, it's a great car.
So you haven't driven it in quiet mode or soft mode. So,
no.
So that car, even then, on a long road trip, you could play an audiobook and you could just cruise along, and the car's nice and soft,
yeah.
and it drives. And as soon as you're like, I want to pass that guy, you put it to the floor, it automatically puts itself in all the right configuration.
Really?
So that you get what you just driven.
Nice.
So it's like, when you want the power, you put it goes.
So it automatically knows.
It knows what you want.
Ah, that's awesome. That's awesome. We don't have that on the Z06.
So that's to respond really to your daily driver comment. It truly is.
Yeah.
When you want to use this as a daily, you truly can do that.
And it makes sense that that the car detects that you just slammed on the gas. Oh, he wants to go, so let me go ahead and change the configurations real quick and get on out of here. So that makes sense. That makes perfect sense, and it makes perfect sense as far as the everyday driver comment, like you said.
Absolutely.
So I didn't even know that, and there you go. Awesome.
Well, thanks again, D.
Awesome day,
it is
man.
an awesome
so good
day.
seeing you again, man. I haven't seen Pat in a very long time.
Yes.
We live
So close.
Extremely close. We used to live closer, but now we still, I mean, even though he moved, we still live, you know, fairly close. So we got to do this a lot more.
Yes.
And one of these times when he goes out to the track or whatever, I might need to get out there with him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you like today's video, please give me a big thumbs up. Smash that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed. I like producing cool car content.
Yeah, he does.
And you're not going to want to miss it.
You're not.
Thanks for watching and happy motoring.
Take it easy, guys.